Welcome into a Wednesday night, guys. I'm gonna start trying to give you guys a weekly. Oh, excuse me. It's all messy here because I'm not used to Wednesdays. I'm trying to give you guys a weekly update now on what we're doing as we're getting more and more into the season now, and we are getting deeper, and getting more data, and we are now heading into week 7. Now things are going to start to get spicy. There's a few things I want to cover today really quickly because a good friend of mine, and she may actually be joining us here and becoming a duo. She lives across the country, so we got to get some of our logistics taken care of, and hopefully she can make the time. And if that's the case, we may be introducing you to another person. It's a good time, but we won't do anything until or say any more until we get it done because it may happen, it may not happen, based on last week. But one of the things she had pointed out to me, and I guess my fault, I wasn't really clear on a lot of things. What I wanted to tell you guys. Okay, so last week, basically by the numbers on our 5 picks, we had 2 winners and 3 losers. That's true, but hold tight because we're going to show you guys in this video where we were able to win on every pick we submitted, and a lot of that was my fault. I need to be more clear, but when we talked about alt lines, teasers, alt lines, teaser parlays, that kind of stuff. So we had the Seahawks that won easily, and by the way, as a kind of an extra credit, if you will, we did say, we hammered home, and we were very clear on this, that take the Seahawks giving points with the alt line or the money line where you would get more money because they were a road dog. So if you followed that, like at the book that I go to, which is a MGM, there at the time that I placed that wager, I got basically 125 for my 100 because I took them at the money line. But that being said, Seahawks covered. Denver did not. They won outright, but did not cover. But we are going to show you tickets where we do have winners cashing on Denver because we teased them. We didn't like that they were both international. We didn't quite know what to expect. Bo Nix's first international game. And so we teased it up and bought back some of the points, so to speak. So even though it will go down as a loss for last week, according to the number, we cashed on that. New Orleans, our third pick was New Orleans. We missed on that one by a couple of points. They were a 3.5 point dog. They lost by 6. Again, a loss is a loss, but we also will show you tickets where we cashed on them as well because since week 1, the one thing that we have hammered home, a few things that we keep talking about, but we've hammered home, is that we are not on the wrong side of the blowouts. We are on the right side of the blowouts. Some of them are very close. A lot of games you're always going to be close in the NFL, but we are always on the close side of the loss, like a couple of weeks ago with Green Bay as a large dog. I'm sorry, a large favorite. They won but didn't cover. So a lot of times with a little bit of extra points that you can tease or buy back, that will help you in cashing. We're going to cover that today. We had the Colts, and the Colts. I wish I did more up-to-date stuff like Sunday morning because the way that line moved, we absolutely did not love the Colts as much as we did early in the week at minus 5.5. Then it wouldn't have mattered. They didn't cover the 5.5, but it moved up to 9 where I live. And so that was telling us there was just too much public sentiment on that side of things. And so again, we cashed on the Colts. We're going to show you the ticket where we did, but they did not cover. So that being said, it's just one of those things. But anyway, Seahawks win, and we also actually had quite a bit of what do you call it? At the end of last week, throughout as we leaned for you on a lot of games, we told you that we liked a lot of those games to add into exactly what we're talking about, these parlays and teasers, to do round robins and whatnot, and we went 4-0 on those. We had Pittsburgh, we had the LA Rams minus the 7.5, we had Carolina as a outright winner, and we had Tampa Bay and the over in Tampa Bay. And we even told you on those four, we hit you 4 plus the over, so that's 5. And we actually said it at the end of the last week's cast. We said Kansas City at home was our 6th pick. If we were picking 6, we would take Kansas City at home. We told you Detroit was the heaviest bet game of the week by far over all the other games. And so in that, we like to see. So really, when you add those 6 to the original 5, we were well above 500. Again, though, we put more stock in the big picks as any better would. So we're still not happy with our performance last week, but we know that we did okay if you followed us across the board. And so my son is going to be adding in 3 different tickets that we placed last week, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about. And in those tickets, you're going to see where I have one here where it is a 7-team parlay, if you will, and it's a straight. The lines were straight; they weren't teased or anything like that. And $7 would have won $560 plus your 7 back for a total of $567. And we hit 5 of the over-unders out of the 7. We'll show you the ticket. We keep the receipts. Now, why I make a point of that is because to play it in the round robin scenario, so you would have had 35 ways if you played it by 3s. So what that means is you would have 35 3-team parlays for the 7. Now, if all 7 hit, forget about it. You're going to collect astronomical money. Your year is going to be set. But we did hit 5. And so by hitting 5, what you end up with is 10 winners, or 10 of the 35 3-team parlays, getting you $70 back. $70 times the 10 winners at the 3-team parlays is 10 times 70 is $700. So you would have, on a $10 parlay, cleaned up $700 on your round robin on our over-unders. That we did not give you the over-unders on those. We played those ourselves. We're still kind of compiling our data, testing our model, and making sure that the over-unders are hitting the way we want to before we start pressing out and pushing out a lot of the over-unders in a lot of our picks, what we're going to be doing. We also think that, especially if we can get my good friend to join us, what we are going to be doing is we are going to go ahead and we are going to cover every game weekly, top to bottom, except for Thursdays, because the picks will not, the video won't come out till Friday or Saturday, so we won't have time to give you the Thursday pick. But we will show you or give you any receipts we have for the Thursday game pick that we do. What I wanted to let you guys know is, if by touching all the sides, once we can, I think we've dialed in our over-under data and our program, and if the program runs smoothly again once more this week with over-unders cashing and hitting like we did, 5 out of 7, 6 out of 8, or 6 out of 9, then we're going to go ahead and start touching that too. So then every week we will basically go over and cover every side and total, and also let you know about any possible alt bets, not just money line and alt numbers, but also like daily fantasy type stuff, with somebody, say, like Jared Goff throwing 2 touchdowns or more, or going over 270 yards in passing offense, that kind of thing. So we'll start to dial it in, but we didn't want to start doing that till we had that. For us is about a halfway through the season thing, because you need the data, and last year's data does not matter, or not matter as much as this year's current data. You can look at some trends are always broken with new teams and so forth and so on. So we just want to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row before we start releasing that to you guys. You guys are giving us your time and trust and listening and following us. We want to make sure that we work hard for you guys and not miss a beat. We think that we really do believe we can get you guys to where you, if you needed to, you could do this, make a living of it, staying above the 500 mark, or basically hitting at the 60% clip, which is what it takes to be profitable year in and year out on sportsbook betting. So anyway, we wanted to let you guys know. I wanted to make sure that you guys saw. Throughout this video, you'll see the three examples of tickets and why we are so high on the round robins, and we'll be a little bit more clear on teasers, teaser parlays, money lines, and so forth, so that you guys can cash when we cash, like we cash, and start becoming more and more profitable. We are very excited about this week. We are looking very forward to this week, as it looks like a really ugly week, but that's where we love it. We really like when things are ugly like this, and it is truly kind of a coin flip between, even the pros are on both sides of games, and the public are very split on a lot of these games. We like that, because those to us are the weeks that what should happen, or what you think should happen, probably is what's going to happen. Like, for instance, just off the top of my head, Kansas City this week is a huge favorite over the Las Vegas Raiders. I think the number's like at 12.5. I thought I saw 13, but definitely it opened at like 10.5 and 11.5, and now it is up to 12.5 off of ESPN that I know. I just looked at it this afternoon. But what I wanted to say was, we don't know yet. We're still looking into which side we like for the spread cover. But that being said, Kansas City is one of those teams where, what should happen probably will happen, which is Mahomes will play well enough to get the win, and definitely win at home and stay in the hunt to building their momentum towards the playoffs. And in such manner, so something like the Survivor or Eliminator that everyone loves to play, that's one that the public is going very heavily on. But we don't see how the Raiders, with Geno Smith the way he's been playing, with Brock Bowers still not being 100%, and with the friction between Pete and Chip Kelly, there's so much drama going on in the Raiders house. And on the flip side, Andy Reid has everybody on the same page. Everybody's humming, everybody's believing, nobody is questioning anything, and they get back. Now they will have both Worthy and Rashid Rice as their wide receivers, and Juju Smith as the third. So again, and although Kelsey may be a little old and slow, when needed, he gets the job done. But the other tight ends are stepping up. But their defense is starting to really fly around. And so KC at home, as you saw against Detroit last week, Monday, or was it Sunday night? Sunday night, sorry. Very hard when they're dialed in to beat them at home. Covering the number, different story. But again, we like when the public is so split between all the games this week, that stuff like the Kansas City Chiefs winning at home, even in the divisional game where the Raiders do give them a hard time, is what should happen. So we definitely are looking forward to this week, is my only point. And with that being said, I want to close it out for you guys with a thank you for checking in. We definitely, again, I'm new at this. I'll learn and grow as we go, but we wanted to definitely make sure that you guys understood that there's ways to cash when the number doesn't cover, because if you're doing it smartly. And second, we just wanted to thank you guys for all the love and support so far, all the positivity and everything. And we're looking forward to giving you guys the rest of this season. And also, I think there was one more thing I wanted to touch on. Oh, yes. My saying, which I should have opened with but didn't, because every cast I said we definitely are going to start with a saying. And this one is not attributed to any specific person, but the saying goes, a man who cannot master himself looks to enslave others. It's an old proverb or saying, and we just kind of found it a little bit interesting with that saying that when you hear that saying or think about it, a person, not a man, but a person who cannot master themselves looks to enslave others. Doesn't that kind of just touch on every politician that we have in our great country right now? I mean, it's crazy how many of those politicians fit that bill. They cannot seem to master themselves, but they want to enslave the rest of us, right? So anyway, with that being said, you guys have a good Wednesday. Looking forward to Thursday's game tomorrow. We don't have an opinion or side yet. I'll tell you one thing. I'll give you guys, my partner said, do not do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, which is I like just a smidge. I like tomorrow the over, believe it or not, with Steelers. Their defense is dialing it in, but this is a divisional game. Dylan Gabriel is the new quarterback there in the Browns, but we just looked at the total number. We looked at our scenarios. We've run the data, and we are leaning towards the over. But don't go crazy. Again, we really don't have an opinion on this game, but if you put a gun to my head, I would tell you that I would like the over. It's always fun to root for the over because you can root for both sides and just want a bunch of scoring, right? So what's not to love about an over? But that being said, guys, I personally am passing on tomorrow night, and we are going to wait because there are enough games this weekend to dial it in and, again, go to the window and cash out and get some easy money from your books. All right, that being said, be good to yourselves. Be kind to each other. Aloha and mahalo, and we'll see you guys on Saturday. One other quick thing, guys. I completely forgot to tell you guys that we are going to start this coming weekend. So we are going to attempt to turn, we'll call it under $200 starting point. We'll do a $200 starting point, and before the season is over, we are going to attempt to turn that 200 into 5 or 6 figures. You heard me correctly. Turning 200 into somewhere between, let's call it 20,000 to 100,000 and change. And we'll give you more information on how we intend to do that and how you might be able to do that as well. But we're going to start this week. Now that we have enough data, we are in the, a third of the season, as it were, and we now feel we have enough data on the teams and what is happening with each team, the numbers and so forth. We are going to attempt to turn what an every average working guy could come up with which is $200, and turn it into year or maybe decade changing money, going from 200 without risking any more than that, and turning it shortly before the season is over from 200 to 20,000 on the low end, and 100 and say 40,000 on the high end, depending on your risk tolerance and how much you can stomach. But basically, it'll only cost you $200. So we're excited about that too as well. And so tune in this weekend before the Sunday games, and we'll tell you how we intend to do that. Again, be good to yourselves. Be kind to each other. Aloha and mahalo.